Hey guys, look, I wanted to continue on with this part. I sent everyone a video that should get you this far. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to try to go a little bit further with question two. Okay, so this right here, if you got this far, this was acceptable as question one. Keep in mind, guys, I have not included the fillet in here yet, and I'm not gonna do that just yet. If we go back to sketch one, and I just click on edit here. If you look at sketch one, you don't see any type of offset in here because I decided instead of putting a 2 millimeter offset in here, um, to do this as a 2 millimeter fillet later down the road. Okay, so that's why you guys don't see that. I did notice that there were a couple of students who actually created that fillet in the sketch, and well, we'll see how that works out. But I chose not to. Okay, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to go back here, and for question two, guys, the way I'm going to start that is I'm going to start that with a sketch. Okay, and I'm going to start that on a top plane. Now, I do realize this will be sketch three. I do recognize that for some reason or another, my top plane was kind of midway through the drawing. And I haven't gone back and looked at that yet, but I've just been working with it anyway. At this point, there's no problem dealing with that. Okay, so here's my top plane I'm creating, and what I'm going to do is into normal. So that's the top plane right here that I'm working on. Okay, so I'm going to start this one with regards to, I'm going to get a construction line. Remember, you guys by now should see that I'm using a lot of construction lines as far as center lines and using them as guidelines because they can be very helpful. And so I'm going to place that one right here. And I'm going to create, in this drawing, I'm going to create a dimension possible from this point to that line. Dimension cannot be created within these entities. Okay, so wait a minute. Let me make sure I can do this. Not sure. Still can be created within there. So, okay, so that is an issue with me. So let me look at. Okay, guys. So I actually started sketch three on the top plane. I was having a little bit of problems there, but what I'm going to do here is, I think I did tell you guys, I think I want to just, for my own purposes, I always like to have a center line. A lot of times I'm safe with a construction line. Of course, it doesn't, doesn't impact the drawing, but just as a guideline, I wanted a center line there. But I'm also going to create another construction line. I'm going to create another construction line right at the edge of this circle. I'm going to kind of pull it up there straight as possible, and I'm just going to kind of bring it this way. Okay, so follow along, you'll see why I did that. Because I need a dimension between here and here, and I'm using the face of an extrude, so it's kind of hard to know just where I'm working. But anyway, gonna create another construction line, and I'm gonna actually create that one right at the edge of here. I'm just gonna see if I can get that as close to the edge as possible. Okay, gonna pick that off. And what I wanted to do here is I'm going to get my dimension tool. I'm gonna create a dimension between these two construction lines that I just created. And that's gonna be a distance of 12 millimeters, okay? Enter. Okay, so this is, I just wanted to get a starting point for my sketch. And that sketch, I'm gonna start here. So I'm gonna get a line tool, and I'm gonna start this sketch right from this line. I'm going to click here, gonna click there, gonna click there, and just actually creating a rectangle. Okay, and we'll see how this works, guys, because I've had some issues with getting this to work properly, but I think it's okay. So I'm going to dimension this rectangle. I'm going to dimension this at 30. Remember, guys, this is question 2. So all the dimensions correlate to question 2 if you were to pull that up. I'm not going to go back and forth because it takes more time. I'm going to put 30, enter there, okay? And actually my computer is generating very slowly, so it may take a while before the lines become black. This one was, I think, 48. And I'm going to enter here. Okay. And I'm hoping I'm getting these dimensions right. I can see that's a little off what I would like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this, and I'm going to go here with this line. I'm going to go to this circle. I'm going to create a coincident right here just to see if that, oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Couldn't do that. Let's see if can I go here, here? Let's see what that does. Okay. So I just want that to make sure that these lines and whatnot are coincident with each other. Okay, so I'm gonna come in there. So I got 48 in this direction and 30 as my sort of my width. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this line, this line, this line. Gonna make those symmetric. Okay, kind of bear with me, guys, because I'm kind of weaning my way through this, and we're just trying to get this first part of question 2, just trying to get you guys started so you can kind of go through this. Everyone needed a video to do their work, and let's be clear that there will not be videos for most of the drawings with regard to the exam. So there's no videos for the exam. Okay, you just kind of take that. Okay, so I have my rectangle, I have it dimensioned, it's fully defined. Okay, and I'm gonna infill it. I'm gonna fill it this in the sketch. Okay, so I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna click here. That's and it should be a radius of 5. I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna click this corner here. Okay, and I'm just going to click out here in the space and just to make sure, and then there's 5 millimeter. I'm just going to hit enter. Okay, guys, so I have what I want for this first part. If I turn this, you can see, even though I'm working on the top plane, my top plane was the top of this bottom half. So it kind of stayed here and I just worked with it. It's not actually on top. You're not actually viewing this on the top as the top plane on top of this part here, but it is the top plane, and it's actually the top plane over the bottom half of that drawing. For some reason, that's how I started it, and I'm just going to complete it like that. So you guys can just follow my video and That should help you. Okay, so now I want to extrude this. I'm going to cut that off. Okay, I want to extrude this, and because my top plane is located like that, I have to extrude this in both directions. Same thing I did when I created these holes. Okay, so I'm going to go to extrude. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go to extrude. Okay, and this one is going to be remove. Okay, so I'm going to remove. Okay, and I want this to be a through all, and I want that through all to go in both directions. So I'm going to create a second in position. Okay, and I'm going to make that a through all as well. Okay, so here we go. Make sure you do both of those, second in position. That way, this, when I extrude this, it'll go in both directions. I want it to cut in both directions. And what do I want to extrude? I want to extrude that sketch right there. That top, it's on the top plane. I'm going to click that right there and see how that works like that, guys. And it takes me through as I wanted to go there. Okay, so that's the effect I was hoping to get, and I think that's pretty accurate. And I'm going to click the green check at this point. Okay, so this is what we got so far, guys. We actually cut a hole through that first part. Okay, so there we are. That's what you should have once you complete that extrude. Okay. Okay, guys, so I'm going to continue here, see if I can create a sketch to cut this other part. As I said before, keep in mind, guys, there's a lot of ways to arrive at the same conclusion. So I'm just choosing the way that I feel comfortable getting to that conclusion. You may find other ways to arrive at the same results. No problem. So we're going to create a sketch here. I'm going to create this sketch. I'm going to create this sketch on the face. Yeah, I'm going to create this sketch right on this face here. So I'm going to click right on that face, that inner face there. Okay. Going to hit in and bring that to normal. And I'm going to go here, guys, and I'm going to click on hide this part. I want to hide this part for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to hide that part. Again, I'm going to resort to construction lines, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create construction line here. Okay, I'm going to I'm going to create construction line from this point to that point. Okay, and what I'm going to do after that, guys, is I'm going to just click off the construction part, and I'm going to start a line here. I'm going to do a line here. I'm going to do a line there. Just going to sort of make a square shape, okay? And okay, great. What I'd like to do is I want to dimension this. So I'm going to create a dimension from there to there. I want this dimension to be 24. Enter. Okay. I'm going to create another dimension as well. It's going to be a square. So I'm going to create that 24. Enter. Okay, great. And then I want to make this symmetric. Okay, so I'm going to select here, here, here. Okay. I'm going to create the symmetric. Oops, I can't do that, right? So wait a minute. Okay, so let me go back for a second and see what is it that I've not done right. Okay, guys, I had to actually go back and correct that. Make sure when you start out with this sketch, you start out with the construction line here. So if you got to the point where I was, make sure you go back and just start again with this construction line. I did that wrong. So start with just the one construction line. I'm just going to use that. Make it easy. I'm going to get a line tool here. And remember, I wanted to just kind of create a square, right? I'm just going to do that. For some reason, the order in which you do things makes a big difference. So if you try to do it in another order, sometimes it just throws you off. So trying to create this square and dimension it became an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now create another construction line here. Okay. So I'm going to create one to come across right here. Not going to dimension anything. Don't put any dimensions to it. That, not yet. So what I'm going to do is deselect these. I'm going to actually go ahead and make this symmetric right now. So I'm going to click this line, that line, make that symmetric, and this line, this line, this line, and make that symmetric. Okay, so now I'm going to add my dimensions as the last component. Okay, so I'm going to add dimension here, which would be these two lines right here. Okay, I'm going to make that 24. It wouldn't allow me to create that at first because I had added dimensions first and just would not allow that. So I'm going to create a dimension here. That's going to be 24 as well. Okay. Enter. Okay, because I wanted this square centered around there. For some reason, I was just having a problem trying to create that. So I'm going to infill it, in sketch fill it here, guys. Just going to click here. Should be a radius of 5. That's good. Going to click that one. And going to click here and going to click here. Now remember, we're still working on the face of extrude 3. So I'm going to click out here and then I'm going to hit enter. And this is the sketch that I was looking for. Okay, so if I were to, I'm going to deselect the fillet. If I were to turn this a little bit and show the part again, okay, that sketch is right. You can see that sketch right in there, guys. This is the sketch right there, okay? And that's what we're going to extrude. Now, the way that I did this, there's another way. I guess some folks do this by extruding a through all, but that wouldn't be possible for me. So when I extrude this part, I know that this is a thickness of 12. So I want to extrude that at least. I'm going to extrude that at 15 millimeters just to make sure it goes through. I don't want to do a through all because through all will bring that all the way through here. And you'll see what I'm saying. So I'm just going to go directly to extrude. It knows exactly what part I want to extrude. I want to remove. That's why you see that pop up there. I actually want to remove. Okay. And I don't want to remove anything more than, let's see if that 25. I'm actually only going to, I'm going to make this 15. Okay. Just to make sure I'm not removing anything else. Enter. Okay. So it'll only remove as much back to, well, that was a thickness of 12. Yes, I wanted it to come all the way through that wall. Okay. So that I think that should do it. So let's click and see what we have. Click the green check. Going in the right direction, yes. Okay. So let's see what we have. Yes. So that's what I wanted. Wanted to create that hole in there. Okay, and that's what we've done. Great. We got one more extrusion. One more extrude. where we're going to remove something. So I'm going to continue on. So remember, guys, we're working question 2. I'm going to bring this over here so we can see it. I'm going to kind of move that around so you can see what we've done so far. We've created this removal of material, and we've created that removal. And now I'm going to set up to create one more removal, guys. Okay, guys, let's see if we can get this last extrude in here for question 2. I'm going to actually click sketch, okay? And then I'm going to sketch this on the top plane again. I'm going to go to top plane, and I'm going to hit into normal. Okay, so I want to start as usual. I'm going to start with a construction line. Okay, so I'm going to give me a construction line again. Going to kind of hover over that so I can get my, and I'm going to start that line right here. And I'm going to kind of do it right there. Okay, so that's what we got so far. And then I'm just going to click off the construction part. I'm just going to use my line tool. Okay, and let me pull this up here so you can see it. I'm actually going to get as close as I can here. I'm going to create a line. I'm going to create a line from there to that point. Okay, create that line from there to there. Going to create another line on this side of the center construction line from there, getting as close as I can. Okay, and right there. Okay, want to make sure that these lines are, see these little points. I'm going to deselect the line tool. I'm going to select that line. I'm going to go here to coincident. I'm going to make that line, I'm sorry, didn't do that right. I'm going to make that line that point coincident with that line. Okay, same thing. I'm going to do it here. I'm going to click that point and that line. Okay, I'm going to go down the bottom and check just to make sure these are same. I want these to be coincident with the line. Okay, so I'm going to that point to the line, and you see that one automatically. Okay, so I got those. I'm going to deselect the coincident constraint. I'm going to get my line tool again, guys. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, well, before I do that, I'm going to deselect the line tool. I'm just going to click here, here, and here. Okay, I want to make those lines symmetric. Okay, okay. Now I'm going to get my line tool once again, guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this off. Okay, I'm just going to click a line there to here. Okay, and I'm going to do this because when you extrude, it must be closed off. You can't extrude if it's not closed off. Okay, so I got that. So the only thing I need to do now is add a dimension to this. So that dimension, keeping in, correlating with the drawings that came with this project, that would have been 3 millimeters. Enter. Okay, and it'll look something like that. Okay, keep in mind, guys, I'm still drawing on, I'm going to deselect it a minute. I'm still drawing on the top plane, and for some reason my top plane was in here. I just want to remind you of that. So whenever I extrude, I generally have to extrude this in both directions. So I'm just going to go straight to extrude, not even going to click the green check, because I wanted to know exactly what it is I want to extrude. I want to extrude this part here. If I go straight to extrude, that part, you can see that part is already highlighted. But we don't want to add material, guys. We want to make sure we are removing material. Okay, so right now we can see the removal is actually going only in one direction. And I want that removal to be a through all. Okay, not a blind. Through all, okay? And then I want to select second in position. I want that to come in the opposite direction as well. And again, we're going to select through all. Okay, so that's through all, and this is what I have here. Okay, so I'm good with that look. That's what I was attempting to do here. Okay, and I'm just gonna cut that off right there. And guys, what we've done is we've actually created 3 separate removal. Okay, we removed this top piece first, then we removed here, and now we've done this. That was what we needed to do. Now, let me check one thing else out, okay, before we go any further. Okay, guys, so we've got this part here, and the only thing left that I want to do here is I want to add a 2mm fillet in most of the places that indicated a fillet. So I'm going to click on my fillet generator. I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to click these edges. And keep in mind, because we've extruded this, I could have filleted first, but because we've already cut this part, then we have to look at this as like 2 parts now, okay, because we've cut that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a fillet here. I'm going to add another one here, okay. I'm going to go to the bottom. Remember, that's all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around here, guys. I'm going to add a fillet there. Going to add one all the way around there. Okay, going to go to the bottom, guys. Make sure you don't forget that, and add it there. Okay, another place that needs a fillet is right here. This one in here. Let's see. I don't know how I got that, but anyway, fillet this. Okay, come to this side and fillet the inside of that. And I've everything I think I need, guys. Filleted. So, question 2. If I see you get this far now, again, guys, the mass property value may be off. We're not going to dwell on that. So we're just going to, follow my instructions and see if you can get the mass value here. I'm going to show you the mass value of this one. So remember, the material, guys, was aluminum 661. The mass value for this one, if I click parts 1 and 2, okay, the mass value, I'm coming up with 87122. If you have something very close to that, guys, that should be what's necessary. But remember, whatever you come up with, what I'd like for you to do to make sure the mass value window is open, okay? Make sure you have that open so that I can see that, and make sure your part is visible in the isometric view, okay? I need to see that in the isometric view. Okay, guys, looks like we've at least covered this video, so I'm gonna stop it here and we'll discuss everything in class. Have a good one.